Hello, good morning, and thank you once again for joining to a new publication of results of LatinNCAP. In this case, we are delivering the second set of results on phase 15 of the program. And in this opportunity, we tested the Chevrolet Groove with 4 airbags as standard, made in China, and the Volkswagen T-Cross with 6 airbags as standard, made in Brazil. Summary of cars that we tested in this set of tests in this publication is the Chevrolet Groove made in China and the Volkswagen T-Cross made in Brazil. First, we go with the results of the Chevrolet Groove. The car was rated with 0 stars in safety. The vehicle has a lack of side head protection as standard, not even as optional. Marginal chest protection in the frontal test. So we're now watching the full speed movie of the frontal test. Now the slow motion frontal test. Unstable structure was detected in this vehicle, so offering an extra risk and also marginal protection to the chest of the adult. It was important to mention this car that the vehicle offers the ISOFIX anchorages as standard and meeting the eye size requirements. Child occupants were fitted and positioned rearward facing as recommended and as LatinNCAP recommends to all the consumers. And in this case, they both showed full protection. For the adults, it's also relevant to mention that even though the restraint systems are there, structure rated as unstable, and the risks detected, this explains the poor protection in the frontal test. We are now going to watch the side impact test. The side body airbags, now in the slow motion movie, the side body airbags help to prevent major injuries on the adult occupant, but the intrusion in the surviving cell was more than expected. The deformation seen in the structure is something of a concern for LatinNCAP, and also is a concern with a car which is quite well developed. It's quite a recent platform. When it comes to child occupant protection, they both showed also full protection in the side impact. The vehicle does not have side head protection as standard, and that's why it was not tested on the pole impact scenarios, only in side movable barrier scenarios. The whiplash protection, or let's say protection for the rear crash to the neck, was marginal. We are now watching the movie on slow motion. When it comes to pedestrian protection, also the results of the car were all over concerning. We were expecting better performances in the pedestrian protection for the head, upper legs, and lower legs as well. And we expect the manufacturer to review this strategy as they showed good performances in other Chevrolet models in the past. ESC, the car performed well in ESC testing with the robot. You're watching now the in-car camera, and the Moose test from the outside, also no severe problems with reasonably medium to high speeds without any issues. We are now going to move to the Volkswagen T-Cross. The Volkswagen T-Cross was rated with 5 stars. Now we're seeing the color dummies next to them, and we're going to dive into each one of the testing scenarios. First one is the frontal crash test at real speed, and now we are moving to the slow motion frontal test. The vehicle in the frontal test showed stable structure, stable footwell area as well. Also, adequate protection to the chest of the driver, good protection to the chest of the passenger side, and of course the rest of the body regions with adequate to good protection. When it comes to the child occupants, on the vehicle has standard connectors of ISOFIX connectors, and both child seats were installed rearward facing. In this case, we noticed that in one of the child dummies, the deceleration in the chest was a little bit higher than we normally expect, and that explains why the protection for the children was not absolutely full in the frontal test. But even though the protection for the child occupants is almost complete in this vehicle. We are watching now the side impact real speed movie. The car has side head protection as standard and side body protection as standard, so 6 airbags as standard. And the structure works really well to prevent intrusion in the passenger's compartment. And both of them explained a good protection for the adult occupant in the rear impact, and also child seats in the side impact protection also offered full protection for both child occupants. We are now moving to the outside view of the side crash, and you see the structure is almost non-deformed, or just a skin deformation, but not relevant intrusions, which is something we have seen in other vehicles. Pole impact for the car, we're watching real speed. Now we're going to go for the slow motion. offered good protection, full protection for the head, which is the spirit of the Cortin airbag, and it worked really well during the crash, also offering protection to the rest of the body, including the chest as well. This vehicle has, as explained, 6 airbags as standard, and the whole system of the car works really well in this very severe crash impact configuration. This is the most severe crashes that we normally see on the roads. We are now moving for the whiplash assessment of the car. The whiplash show marginal protection to the neck on a borderline case, so it could have been a little bit better, but it was really on the border of the performance. When it comes to pedestrian protection, the heads offered a reasonably marginal to good protection, but the lower leg and upper leg showed results which are concerning for LatinNCAP and quite low. Added to that, the manufacturer, in order to score for the 5-star, had to develop better, or at least have the AEB of the autonomous emergency braking system for pedestrians. We're going to talk about that later. For electronic stability control, the vehicle offered a good performance, as we are seeing now from the in-car camera, and also good performance in the Moose test, reaching quite average to high speeds. When it comes to more autonomous emergency braking systems, car-to-car, static, and car-to-car moving, the system worked really well. We are now going to see in-car cameras from the car-to-car moving, and we're going to see also the signaling or the warning system that the car has in the system to warn the driver. When it comes to pedestrian protection, also good reaction of the vehicle when it comes to a far adult running. And we are now going to see obstructed view scenarios where also the system worked really well, and obstructed view child, once again from a different perspective, also with good performance. Now in-car camera of this same case scenario. And as a summary of the results, we have the 0-star Chevrolet Groove, small SUV with the unstable structure, as mentioned during the presentation, and also low performance for the pedestrian, also limited performance for the child occupants with some child seats failing in installation, and also a reasonable performance for driving assistance, but without having any side head protection, not even as optional. It's a point of concern, and that actually is reflected in the result, and also not having any ADAS or AEB technologies available. When it comes to the Volkswagen T-Cross, the new version of the T-Cross, it has 6 airbags as standard. The vehicle showed in general good protection for the adult, good protection for the child as well, even though some results were on the concern of the child, one of the child of the chest. Even though the vehicle managed to achieve the full score available, or the full score needed for a 5-star. When it comes to pedestrian protection, also good performance in passive and active safety. The car has the pedestrian AEB available, and this is once again a highlight of this updated version. And when it comes to the safety assist box, also the vehicle showed good performance overall, with good availability of autonomous emergency braking systems, lane support systems, blind spot detection, also those that are in the vehicle but not in the fitment rates required to rate in terms of scoring, but still though they are available. Well, this is the end of this second publication, second set of tests of LatinNCAP in this phase 15. We thank you very much for staying in line, just connecting to our publications. We would like, before we say goodbye, we would like to thank very much to our main supporters, Total Zero Foundation, Global NCAP, Bloomberg Philanthropies, FIA Foundation, the IADB, and also ICRT. For all of you, thank you so much, and we're going to see you soon in a new publication of results of LatinNCAP.